Hi, and welcome to the Bassmaster Studio, sponsored by Marathon. That's Ronnie Moore. I'm Tommy Sanders, and Ronnie, right here less than 2 weeks ago, we wrapped up the 9-event season for 2024, the St. Croix Bassmaster Opens presented by 7. So before we go on, congratulations to the 9 winners through that schedule, and also to the top 9 points getters. They're headed to the Bassmaster Elite Series next year. 2 weeks is enough time to sit on our laurels. We got to start thinking about 2025, and now we're going to roll out the schedule for 2025. But before we start, there are some significant changes, starting with the fact that there are 8 events instead of 9 to start.
Yes, so the Bassmaster Opens changed a few years ago, Tommy. It used to be 3 divisions, three events in each division, 9 total. Some anglers would fish all 3 divisions to give them an opportunity to make the Elite Series, a couple more shots on goal, you could say, to accomplish that goal. Then, really, we wanted to create the strongest, hardest group of rookie classes. I think the last few years have shown that they're well prepared. And by making them fish all 9 opens, north to south, east to west, spawn, pre-spawn, into the fall, all things considered, and those anglers have done that. But we know and have heard feedback, it is hard to do a day job while pursuing a dream of the Elite Series and fishing all 9 events. So to try to accommodate both deals, Hank Weldon changed the format slightly this year. Instead of 9 events, no divisions, just fish all 9 for the Elite Series, we now have 2 divisions, 4 events in each division, so 8 total, 1 less if you're fishing all of them than you would have. But Tommy, these are just avenues. These 4 opens allow you to make the Classic in each division, and also if you're in the top 50 in points for Division 1 after those 4 events, or top 50 in Division 2, you will advance on to our final 3 events, which are the EQ points race. That is like our whole season, but you can't make the Elite Series through the first 4. You can only get to the checkpoint. And the last stop is those 3 events, September, October, November, where we will decide the Elite Series spots for 2026.
All right. Well, it's a different scheme, scheme, more accessibility. I think you can argue that.
That's the inclusion factor.
Yeah.
If you wanted to fish 4 events and maybe you make the top 50, can I fish 3 more? Yeah, that's only 7 events total. It's still less than you would have before. You still have the opportunity, Tom, if you want to fish 11 opens. Let's just say you're a guy who wants to fish from January to November. You get the opportunity to do that. You fish both divisions, you make it to the top 50 in one of them at least, you'll be able to make that last 3 event stretch and fish 11 total opens.
Yeah, not small changes, big changes, a lot to digest, and you can do that right here, following it on Bassmaster.com. But you're here. We know why you're here. That's to hear the schedule for next year. You want to just go ahead and run into it?
Yeah, you can run it. Division 1, let's start it.
All right, Division 1, we will start out in Clarks Hill there on the border between South Carolina and Georgia. We move to the Tom Bigby River, the Golden Triangle area, Columbus, Mississippi there, April 16th through 18th. I should say Clarks Hill is January 23rd through 25th. Evans, Georgia is a spot for that. Event number 3, the Upper Chesapeake, a lot of history there. That is July 23rd through the 25th, a Wednesday through Friday tournament.
Yes.
Correct, Ronnie? Okay. And Northeast Maryland is going to be the headquarters for that. All that history there in the Delmarva Peninsula. And the St. Lawrence River wraps up Division 1. And we all know the St. Lawrence and that reputation with the most fabulous smallmouth fishing probably in the world. That is July 31st through August 2nd. Waddington, New York, a great fishing town.
That wraps up the Division 1 events, and everyone said, what, no New York for the Elite Series? We knew that at least there had to be a New York for the Opens, and so St. Lawrence there. But we got to see a little bit about Clarks Hill. We haven't had an Open there ever. We've had Elite Series events. We just had a college event this past season around this time of the year, late January. So you think blueback herring, you think largemouth, and
Big
Clarks
Lake,
Hill. Yeah, Clarks Hill has been great. That place has the susceptibility, though, to get real dirty. I remember fishing a college event in that January, February time range. Everything was perfect. It flooded, a lot of rain, and the westernmost arm was about as orange as I've ever seen a body of water. So that'll be interesting.
Made you tougher.
Yeah, exactly. The Tom Bigby, speaking of being tougher, a very tough body of water, one that we haven't had. You know, we think about these old school anglers that have maybe been around for a long time. They've heard of the Tom Bigby. I think 04 Mark Davis in E50
that was the last time
we had a top level event there. So a lot, if not all of our Opens anglers have never fished here unless you're local to Mississippi. We go to the Upper Chesapeake. We know how good some of those tidal places like the Upper Chesapeake on the Atlantic coast, the Potomac, James River, in the summer where a lot of other bodies of water get really difficult. The tidal factor of the Upper Chesapeake presents itself itself to be great fishing at times and strategic fishing in that late July portion. And like you said, yes, there's 2 events in Division 1 that are Wednesday to Friday. The Tom Bigby River one to accommodate Easter so that anglers can get back to their families for Easter, and then the Upper Chesapeake to accommodate the practice time and travel time, because there are back-to-back events for the Upper Chesapeake and the St. Lawrence.
All right, and the St. Lawrence speaks for itself.
Yes, absolutely.
Fabulous.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we know that place. Late July, early August. That's right around the time period where we thought it would be less weight than ever before. Yet we broke 100 with Jay Shakir around that time period.
All right. Well, if those 4 don't suit your fancy, you got another option, and that is Division 2. You ready for that?
Yeah, let's run it down.
All right, let's start it at Sam Rayburn, legendary Sam Rayburn, Jasper, Texas, of course, February 13th through 15th. Perennial top 10 Bassmaster best bass fishing lakes in the country. We follow that up with another legendary body of water, 150,000 acres of Kentucky, and Barkley Lake there in Paris, Tennessee. That is March 6th through the 8th. April 3rd through 5th. We go to Lake Norfolk. There's going to be some White River fishing, part of the White River system there. Beautiful lake there, Mountain Home, Arkansas, April 3rd through 5th, up in the Ozarks. And we wrap it up at a place that the first time the Bassmasters has gone there has been this past season, Leech Lake, Walker, Minnesota. Very, very unique fishery.
Yeah, Tommy, the Division 2 has you covered. I mean, Division 1 has you covered on everything. You know, blueback herring, you know, that type of fishing. You've got tough river, you got tidal, you have smallmouth. Division 2, same thing. Big bass at Sam Rayburn, early pre-spawn type action. Depending on if it warms up, who knows. But it should be pre-spawn. Kentucky Lake, March 6th to the 8th, like you said. Back to a place that is rooted in so much bass history. They had been in such a downturn with the Asian carp and all of those other poor spawns that they had. They really didn't have a year class fish. They were missing year classes of fish. Smallmouth have taken off there. It's absolutely phenomenal fishing again there. Kentucky and Barkley Lakes. We'll see if anybody tries to get away from the field there. Lake Norfolk, we know how good Bull Shoals is. We had the Elite Series event a few years ago, I think 2016, where we had Bull Shoals and Norfolk split for the tournament. We've had a college event there since. Luckily, I think Bo Browning was a part of that event. You don't have to worry about him in the Opens next year. He's in the Elite Series. But that is one that we should keep our eye on. Leech Lake, we know how hard Hank Weldon worked to get that from the College Series, trying to get it on the College Series schedule, to finally getting it to the Opens last year. We're going to go back there a little bit more. I had some anglers already text me, Tommy, can we delete the footage from the Leech Lake Open this past year? Because some secrets were given out, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. Always good.
Really diverse there. Largemouth, like you said. There should be all 3 species at Norfolk at times. You should see multiple species for Kentucky Lake, and then Leech Lake, same thing. So you get a taste of it all. We knew that these are still, it gives you the regional feel with divisions, Tommy, but these are still national type things. You're going to have 4 events over a 6-month stretch. You're going to need to be tested on time of year, also species of fish, types of fishing, and all 4 events in both divisions will get you that. And then I can't wait to show what those 3 events for the EQs will be for September, October, November. Not yet, though. Maybe in a few months we'll do it.
And once again, to recap, to qualify for those 3, you have to be in the top 50 in points in 1 or Division 2, Division 1 or 2.
Yes, I would expect, and I talked to Hank Weldon about this, I would expect a smaller field size from the Opens. So, Tommy, our goal, it's been 225 for full fields in the Opens. Next year, he said 230, just because of, we had a couple people on the waiting list. 230 would accommodate that. So, 230 boats for these Division 1 and Division 2 events. When we get to the EQ portion of those 3, Tommy, we'll have top 50 from Division 1, top 50 from Division 2. People will ask, what if I fish both and qualify for both? We don't take an extra person. If somebody double qualifies, it'll just be 49 from a division.
Oh, okay.
So 100 roughly from the Opens. Those will also be available to the Elite Series anglers who want to try to make the Classic out of the last 3 events, or maybe fell on the wrong side of the requalification line and need to fish their way back in. That's one big thing. Fishing in the Opens to get to the Elites is a big goal, and it's a hard trek to do. But some of these Elite Series pros say, hey, why don't you come, if you're going to take my job, come take it from me. Here's an opportunity.
Well,
they'll go head to head.
put it.
We'll probably have about 150 boats in those EQ events of the best of the best Opens and the best of the Elite Series, trying to make it at the end of the season. Should be a great event. But that's the format change for 2025, and it's always changing. People are like, why the changes? We got feedback from anglers and surveys. We hear the problems of local anglers wanting to be in these. Co-anglers will remain for the Opens. That is a thing that a lot of co-anglers prayed for, pleaded for. They got that. We will have co-anglers as well. So we're going to do our best to accommodate everyone, but we should have full fields for all these events.
Absolutely. Should be great. A lot of facts and figures and places and schedules that we threw at you here. You can check it all out on Bassmaster.com, including information about registration, dates, all of the rest of that stuff, Bassmaster.com. And that's it, the 2025 season for the St. Croix Bassmaster Opens presented by 7.